Hey guys, I'm Quirky Turtle, and this is another run for the experimental or beta branch of Ember Knights. Currently, I want to test how the normal gameplay loop feels in this experimental branch with not being able to get skill upgrades until basically second half of A2. See how that feels. So we're not going to be taking any relics into the run. We're not going to be using Ember Shop, and we're going to be using Hammer, not Staff, just to, see how a casual run would feel. So with that being said, we're going to be going with 2-3-1 for the weapon mods, which is Defensive Stance, Volcanic Rift, and Safeguard on the Overcharge Ultimate upgrade, which is just super crazy. The Ember tree shouldn't have changed too much, so we're going to go with Thick Skin on first slot, Earned Power on second, Pocket Change, Confidence, Guardian Angel, Relic Dice, Skill Dice, Refinery, Expansion, and Bonus Relic. Like I said earlier, we're not using the Ember Shop, so we want to keep it as default as a run as possible, just to see how the actual gameplay loop feels with not getting upgrades or skill upgrades early on. And we're going to be going with 4 Haste, 4 Onslaught, 1 Doused, and then 5 Blitz. The plan for the build itself is just to go with a burn build for Hammer, because Hammer does a really, really good job with burn builds, or with combustion stones, more or less. So that's the plan for the build itself, but we just want to know how the gameplay loop feels, or I wanted to test how the gameplay loop feels with not getting skill upgrades super early, and also not starting with skills. So Cloak and Dagger is a skill that got changed, but Seek and Destroy, there was something that got changed about it. I can't remember what, but we'll take it. We'll take it, because it is also a burn skill. So, we're doing good. Also, we got Opal out of a bag. And now that's lucky. I will just skip all these. Burning Resolve is great. We'll take that. Helps Containment Field. No. I mean, Rejuve Glove, sure. It just gives us a lot of sustainability. And also, we got Opal, so it's good healing. So far, everything is the same, basically. Obviously, not running with a stupid, crazy build by any means, or any build at the start at least. So it's going to feel a little bit slower than my normal, but it should be pretty average so far. Not going too fast, not going too slow, not doing too much damage, but doing enough damage that it doesn't feel like it's taking forever. This is on Doom mode, if you weren't aware, or Doom 16. Alright. Enemy boss went down quite fast. We got Smoldering Toxin that might actually be a good pickup. Because then I'll poison burning enemies. But then I'm also in the poison category then. I mean, it shouldn't be that bad. I don't know, let's just roll over it actually. Fiery Imbuement's not terrible. But we'll roll over it. Come on. Flawless Brace is actually pretty good, but we're gonna pass on it once more. Okay, unfortunate. We just didn't get anything we wanted. So I'm going to go to the second skill selector, and I wanna get some skills that are actually good, right? Or meta skills. So Arcane Bolts, Blast Bomb, Soul Siphon, Arlen's Dice. Although once again, these are after nerf skills, so we want to just see how they play out. Also, I guess Ballista is also on there. Maybe we go Ballista instead of Soul Siphon, since in the previous video I did on the experimental save, we did Soul Siphon and Blast Bomb. I didn't fully test them, but those were the 2 skills that I used, so let's change it up. Go Ballista, I guess. Now, Ballista's not broken by any means at this point in time, They reduce the damage on the triple arrow upgrade, which makes a lot of sense, because before it was just like you basically deal triple the damage, but now it's not quite that much. Also, I guess Surge Pendant? I don't know. Nothing too crazy out of these options, for sure. And we technically could have had a skill upgrade right now, or two, which then we could have had ultimate upgrade at this point. But since we don't and can't get skill upgrades until second half of A2, the run feels smoother, I guess, or like not as broken, not as unbalanced. It feels kind of good to, you know, be doing good, but not like being stupid broken. You know, just wiping everything without even really trying. I mean, Hammer is quite broken though. Hammer's kind of nuts. I probably should have grabbed the gem, but oh well. You know, it is what it is. I didn't even look to see what the gem dropped from the boss fight. I just kind of ran away. Doesn't matter. Alright, what relics do we got? Decayed Scepter. Impact Charm is a possibility. Also, Twisted Fire Star is also a possibility. But maybe we go Pristine Band. Maybe that's what we do. We're not doing like a skill damage scaling build. We're just doing a casual run. Basically a weapon run. Because we didn't find Supreme Ambition. If we found Supreme Ambition, we would definitely go into that crazy skill damage scaling, but we don't have Supreme Ambition, so it's not like it's not going to go crazy. Also, look, no upgrades still, and we're in A2. Like, kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Also, do I go for Arcane Bolts? I don't think so. I think we just skip. I think what makes skills stupid broken, other than the skills that have, like, a ton of infinite possibilities, I guess, or infinities, except for those skills, I think most skills are broken just because of Supreme Ambition. I think Supreme Ambition is the actual reason that the majority of the skills are just, like, really, really strong, because it's the only way to scale skill damage reliably. And if you start with it, obviously you're going to be scaling way more. And then if you get it in a run, chances are you're not going to completely pivot the build into a skill damage build. You're not going to have enough refresh to do that. So I honestly think the majority of the skills are pretty balanced. It's just like you have to use them in moderation, or that's like, or you can't spam them on most weapons, right? Because you don't have the refresh. And if you don't start with the perfect build, you're not going to be able to refresh a lot, right? I don't know, man. I think the majority of the skills are in a great spot. I think the nerfs that they did for this experimental branch are great. I think it's definitely putting Ember Knights into the right direction. And it feels like it brings power back to the enemies. And I'm not just saying like, oh, now it's harder by any means, because it's not really that difficult if you understand the weapon you're playing and how to play the build that you're like starting to build into. The game really isn't that hard if you have the knowledge, right? Like, knowledge is definitely power. And if you just understand how your weapon works, how mechanics in the game works, it's pretty easy to clear a run, or consistent, I should say. And back to my point of the majority of the skills aren't stupid broken until you scale your skill damage. I think that's super true. And I think the fact that they nerfed a whole bunch of the skills that just, like, would randomly get 3x damage, pretty much, from a skill upgrade. By nerfing that, I think they brought down the need to scale skill damage. Because you don't... Or maybe you need to scale it more now because you're going to deal less damage per cast. But I feel like it's just in a good spot, you know? You shouldn't... I don't know what I'm trying to get at with these, like, comments, but I think it's just skills are always going to be strong if you have a lot of refresh, right? Like, if you can spam skills, skills are gonna more likely than not are going to have a higher DPS than your weapon, right? Just because of animations and things, right? Also, it would be very nice if we could get a combustion stone. But I guess we go empowered bangle. I don't know. Now, these are our first upgrades. So, we're gonna reroll this because I don't like this. I hate how this can happen. We get 2 upgrades for the same skill. Like, I don't want an upgrade for the skill. I want an upgrade for the other skill, right? But if you're giving me 2 upgrades for the one skill, and I don't like them and I don't have rerolls, I have to skip it. I don't like... Also, there's 2 skill options, and I have skills that I want to keep for pretty much the rest of the run. So, I don't care. Also, there we go. That's the upgrade we want. Ballista upgrade 2. Your ballista shoots a spread of 3 arrows. Each arrow will now deal 66% skill damage. Or 66% of the damage that one arrow would normally deal. So, it's alright. Or, that's what I'm actually technically testing in this, to see if that decrease in damage is super noticeable and or matters. But I think it does matter. It's overall still a net positive, so I'm not sure how crazy it is. If I had 1 combustion stone, I could have 1-cycled. That was our first skill damage gem? Wow. Okay. Well. That's not amazing then. So far, I don't feel like the skills that I'm using are overpowering the run. So, I don't know. I don't know how the power creep feels. I'll take normal damage over skill damage. The skills, once again, are not really doing much. For me, at least. Currently. We will go to this, select skill selector, though. Although, see, I hate this decision now. This decision sucks. I hate it. You have to decide whether you want a skill upgrade or a relic. And more likely than not, a skill upgrade is going to spike your power, or it's going to give you a better power spike than a single relic. Because the odds are that you're going to hit a better skill upgrade than you would hit a relic that is going to, like, actually advance you. or give you that power spike, right? Like, these upgrades are kind of nuts, right? Okay, these all sucked. I re-rolled and got nothing I wanted. Well, the fact that if I just apply this refresh to... Actually, we're gonna go with the crit to Ballista. It'll give me the ultimate, which the ultimate is what kind of makes Ballista even stronger. I just don't have any refresh on it. The refresh cost is basically 0 if I just pick it back up. Also, ballistas can get, like, chained, like, stunned. That's very scuffed, is it not? I mean, I guess they are an entity. But that just seems really bad. Like, ballista's definitely still good. That upgrade does make it really good. I'm gonna roll once. Doom Shell, doesn't matter. Stunning, well... maybe. But probably not. I did not need another Juicy Opal. I really don't. I think I'm just gonna save. There's nothing Hammer really needs to be strong other than Combustion Stones. So, I'm just gonna hold on to all my gold. Okay, let's see how the Ballista does. He's dealing 28 damage with 140% skill damage. Like, I think this is fine. Like, this damage is still good. Like, great, even. Like, it's still killing enemies. I don't know. I'd have to play the game a lot more with every single skill to see how they actually feel and play, and see if there's still, like, good synergies, but also the skills don't scale by themselves super hard. Like, you need to have Supreme Ambition or Absolute Ambition in order for the skills to actually go insane. Like, Ballista's damage is still great. I don't have a lot of skill damage. Like, 160, maybe, what is it? Like, an extra 75%, so, like, 235. After I cast the first skill, the second one will be at 235. Like, that's... doing 19 damage a bullet, or a, arrow, I guess they're called. A bolt. Shot. I don't know. Like, right now, I'm using Ballista as kind of like a secondary thing, not the primary damage dealer, right? And it feels fine. It feels fine. Hammer is just carrying, and then Ballista is just doing a little bit extra damage on the side, right? But I don't think in a normal run, or in a casual run, not using Ember Shot, you can get skills to deal like hundreds of damage without loop. Or you'd have to get super lucky with getting Supreme Ambition or Absolute Ambition, right? Like, you can't just hit skill damage every single stat selector. Like, I don't think it would be enough, right? To make skills just go insane. I don't know. But from what I can tell about this one run and some other runs, is that skills really don't, like, carry you. Like, they're more supportive than anything else. Which I think is what they're meant to be, right? They're meant to be strong, but not stupid strong, not carry the run strong. They're meant to be supportive, I believe, at least. Like, I think you can still get good builds with weapons that will still carry you through a run. And I don't think you have to rely on skills to do it, right? Like, right now, yeah, skills are really broken in version 1.4. But since I'm playing in the experimental, or the beta version of 1.5, that is, it seems like everything's better, right? There's no infinities in skills that I've noticed, at least. It just feels better. Now, there was a suggestion that Legat said about skills in general, which is, if you get your second skill upgrade right, you shouldn't be able to get your ultimate upgrade instantaneously, because that causes like a massive power spike, because you just get 2 upgrades in a row. And the ultimate upgrade is generally like a really strong part of the skill itself. So being able to get your second upgrade and the ultimate simultaneously is kind of like weird, right? So he said like they should decouple the second skill upgrade and the ultimate, and I kind of agree with that. But then how do they do it, right? Do they do it where you have to go to another deluxe skill selector and get your ultimate, and it's like just another option that gets unlocked after you take 2 skill upgrades? Or is it like each skill has 3 upgrade slots and the ultimate just becomes like a 4th option? So you can get the ultimate upgrade whenever, but it's really just like a tier 4 upgrade. So, like I said earlier, it's just another option. Is it like that? Like, how do they implement it, right? What is the best way to implement decoupling the second upgrade and the ultimate upgrade, right? And I think, in my eyes at least, I think the best option for it would be to make it so that the tier 4 upgrade or ultimate upgrade is just a standalone upgrade, so you can just get it anytime. It's just another upgrade option for a skill. It's not like really strong. Although I can imagine a world where they do it that way, or keep it the way it is, basically, which is ultimate upgrades are really strong, but you can only get the ultimate after you get the 2 upgrades, right? But then you get 2 upgrades and you don't get given the ultimate upgrade instantaneously. You still have to go find it. It still is not an option. It's not guaranteed, right? Like, maybe that's the way they do it to stop the power creep, or the massive power spikes in like the early game. Because currently, definitely skills are way too strong. You basically get a skill upgrade, and that sets you up for like the entire run, and you just rely on that skill that you've maxed out or got the ultimate upgrade for, which I don't see as being a bad thing. It's just skill upgrades make every skill a lot better, regardless of the skill. It's just 10 times better, right? So we gotta find a balance, or they gotta find a balance for it. And I think there's been good suggestions, and I think they have a good idea of how to fix it. Also, wow, Spring Ambition. It's very late, and I don't have the gold for it. Unfortunate. I don't know, I trust that they will find a good way to make skills strong enough that they're still usable, but weak enough that they don't completely overshadow weapons themselves, like they currently are. Also, we'll just grab crit damage, or crit chance, it doesn't matter. The second skill really does not matter at all, since ballista is like the only thing we really care about at this moment. And even then, we don't really care about it. It's more or less just like a side side thing to, you know, occasionally throw out if we're ever in trouble. Because hammer itself is just good, right? Especially in the experimental. I know I keep going back from experimental and current updates, but the experimental makes it a lot easier to use other weapons because you're not just relying on a single skill. I know I've probably been repeating the same point a lot, but it truly does make skills more of like a secondary thing, not like the primary of the build, which makes a lot of sense when you don't start with skills, right? Unless you're running a staff run, right? The staff is all about skill. But it just feels better, okay? It feels good to know that you have an option to keep using your weapons and not have to pivot, or not necessarily have to pivot, but if you pivot to a skill build, you're just going to deal 10 times more damage, right? Like, it definitely feels good to just, you know, use a skill for once, or, wow, use a weapon for once and have it actually do good, right? Like, as you can see in this run, or have seen so far, this build does work very, very well, and is quite strong without skills, I might add. Now, I am only playing on Doom 16, not Demons, not any other, like, higher difficulty, but it's just like a good run, right? It's balanced. I can use my weapons, but I can also use skills, right? Skills aren't overpowering my weapon, and my weapon's not super OP so that skills are useless, right? Anyways, we're on to A5. One more area and then Praxis. Anyways, yeah, just let me know your guys' thoughts on these, and if you do want to try out the experimental beta for version 1.5, you can do so by going to the official Ember Knights Discord server, which you can go to that Discord server through the Ember Knights game, or hopefully I remember to throw a Discord link in the description of this video. And yeah, from there, you will be able to access the experimental, why am I blanking? The experimental text chat on the official Ember Knights Discord server, and from there, you can find out how to download the beta branch and play on the beta branch. You can also just read the patch notes if you don't want to actually play, and just see where they're going with the next updates. Once again, let me know your guys' thoughts on it, because in my opinion, I think this is good. I think they're changing skills that had infinities, which is perfect, and they're reworking or adjusting upgrades that were really, really strong, which is definitely making the core gameplay better. Man, these ballistas are gonna die, probably. As we get out of the cutscene. Okay, we got the pickup. Wow, now we get a combustion stone? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That's like the only part of the build that we need is a single combustion stone. That's literally it. After you get one combustion stone, it's basically GG's with hammer. Is this volcanic rift charge attack on third attack? Third charge attack actually is what it's called. Each like tick of damage is burning, so it's just like a lot of effects, or a lot of increments of burn, which then procs combustion stone, which then means I'm dealing 10 damage every single burn tick, which is crazy once again. Also, might as well just pick up all of these, all of those random ass gems and things. All right, one more room. Do we go Bob? I think we go Bob. Bob / Offering Pit. Or Offering Pit is Bob. Alright, what are we gambling? Do we gamble away the Wisps? I think we gamble away the Wisps. The Pristine Band. And honestly, Seek and Destroy. And Empowered Bangle. Let's see what we get. Tossing me to level 3 feels so bad though. Okay, we got a Juicy Opal. We got a Wizard's Lace, we got Shocking Revelation, and we got Knight's Charge with the refresh upgrade. Interesting. Alright, ballista got down. Okay. See, the ballista in the bottom right cleared out those enemies that were hanging out down there that I, like, ran away from. So, I think as long as you can't scale skill damage to, like, 500-600%, fast at least, then I think skills are fine, right, for the most part. Especially pushing back the upgrades definitely helps for sure. Alright, well, we don't have, like, a ton of damage, but we have enough damage, I think. Oh yeah, we're definitely getting through. Okay, nice. Ah, gotta love this dodge phase. I'm not gonna lie, this dodge phase is very, very tediously annoying. I understand why it's here. Like, I really understand why it's here. Because it's definitely ended some demons attempts, for sure. Or, like, super high difficulty attempts. Just by taking excess damage here. But in a casual-ish run, that phase is just so pointless. And just feels bad because it takes so long. Anyways, let's make quick work of this last phase of practice. Man, he ran away on. What is this bullshit? Oh my god, he grabbed me. Come on, man. Well, so much for making quick work of him. I'm going to the last phase. Great. This is another dodge phase that I totally understand why it's here, but it is so incredibly annoying. Easy win. Alright, well, I'm not gonna do a build breakdown by any means, because there wasn't really much of a build, it was just hammer, you know? And I think I shared enough of my thoughts about the experimental update for version 1.5, and how I think things should work, which was kind of the main point of the video, which was just, like, testing the normal gameplay loop of Ember Knights in the experimental, seeing how the deluxe skill selectors being at the second half of A2 affected the run itself. And I think it affects it in a good way. I think it made the run more balanced, and nothing too crazy happened. Like, we didn't just scale out of our mind, we didn't have this, like, 1% run games, if that makes sense. Overall, definitely think they're going in the right direction. I 100% agree with everything that they're doing, and I don't know, I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. Anyways, yeah, that's the end of this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.